Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we finally got to see Harry get out of the halfway house, and Indy was there to pick him up at midnight. And Harry had his whole family waiting back home, and they're making him mofongo, and they claim that Harry requested that, but Harry said he doesn't even like that food. And the first thing he wanted to do, he was dead set on going and getting a chicken sandwich and some fries, which, I mean, I get it, you just got out. But not only that, he decided to go do that, then go to a whole nother food joint after he got his chicken sandwich and order some cheeseburgers for his buddies at the halfway house. And Harry says his buddies at the halfway house are pretty much family to him, and Harry even lost one of his close buddies from the halfway house this past week. I saw he posted on Facebook the other day. So his number one priority after his chicken sandwich was getting his boys some cheeseburgers. But all this ended up taking over 2 hours, because after he got the cheeseburgers, he had to drop them off at the halfway house, then drive back. And this had Harry's family pissed because they cooked him a meal. They were all gathered at his sister's house to welcome him home, and even had all the kids and babies still up. So Harry's sister called him and cussed him out and said he was inconsiderate. And Harry started raising his voice at his sister. And by the time him and Indy did finally show up to his sister's house, it was well past 3 a.m. and all Harry's family got frustrated. They had already went home, and you could cut the tension with a knife in the room as soon as Harry walked in his sister's house. Harry's sister was still up waiting and even had her young kids still up at that time. So by the time Harry showed up, she was over it and frustrated, and her and Harry got in a big fight after she called Harry inconsiderate once again, and her kid even woke up and started crying, and it was just a big mess. So Harry ran out the door, and the producers asked him how important was it for him to get cheeseburgers for his buddies at the halfway house, and he said way more important than his family. And Harry was pretty much like, look, my family hasn't been there for the past 5 years while I've been in prison, and now all of a sudden they want to act like they care. But I think that Harry's sister made a good point. She was like, look, your friends are the reason why you went to prison, and family's the only reason Harry can walk in that house right now. So Harry should, I think he should have at least let his family know his plans, and then they could have decided to do things another night, and at least been considerate of his family, or at least got the cheeseburgers for your friends another day. I feel like that could have waited. But Harry seemed like he has quite the anger issues, because this set him off real quick. He stormed down the street, and I think Harry needs to apologize to his sister. He was out there acting like a total man-child, and he has to realize if he's going to be living under his sister's roof, then he needs to at least be considerate, and he wasn't taking no responsibility for his action or even try to level with his sister. And I feel like if he would have simply apologized and at least tried, then things could have just simply boiled over. Harry literally just came from jail to his sister's house with a girl and her kid that his sister barely knows, and is shacking up in her house for the next few months, and got camera crews all over, and he couldn't even take any accountability. So then Harry and Indy, they decided to leave, and this is what really pissed me off. So Indy went and got a nice hotel room with a full kitchenette and all for her and Harry, even though she said she really didn't have the money for it. Yet she had her and her family shacking up in that grimy hotel for a week with her daughter. Make it make sense. So Indy woke her daughter up and dragged her out of the bed into this hotel. They spent the night in the hotel, and Indy just could not wait to have some sexy time with Harry. And they got to have their sexy time, but nothing like they planned, because they had Indy's daughter in the same room with them since they got a hotel room. So they had to sneak in the bathroom and have a little quickie. And it just wasn't that romantic first night that Indy was planning on. And then Harry and Indy, they went grocery shopping. They started packing up the hotel room the next morning. Then all of a sudden, Harry's sister called Harry and was like, bro, you're tripping. He's like, what's going on? And I guess that Harry was supposed to call his parole officer the first day he was out of the halfway house, and it just totally crossed his mind, and he totally forgot, which I don't know how you forget to call your parole officer. That should be on the top of your list. But he forgot to call his parole officer, so his parole officer called his sister, because that's where he's supposed to home plan to, and his sister was like, well, he's not here right right now. So she called him. Harry called his parole officer, and his parole officer was pissed. He was like, look, you're supposed to call me the first day you're out. You're not even supposed to be anywhere but your sister's house because that's where you home plan. So you're supposed to be spending every single night with your sister. And the first night you don't call me, and now you're all shacked up with a pen pal. And I guess, I don't know where he got the pen pal thing. Harry's sister must have told the parole officer is a pen pal or something. And Indy took so much offense to the parole officer calling her a pen pal. But the parole officer was not happy whatsoever. And he's like, okay, look, I need you to come in, and I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you to make sure that you stay at your sister's house and you don't go nowhere. And Harry's on parole for the next 15 years. So for the next 15 years, he's got to listen to his parole officer whether he likes it or not, or he's going to end up right back in prison. And Harry really messed up there because he could have at least had it not easy, but easier than he has it now, just checking in with his parole officer as long as he would have just stayed with his sister and did what he needed to do. But now he's going to have to get a whole ankle monitor put on, and now that's going to restrict him when he's able to come and go from his sister and really put a hinder on Harry. And with this whole being on an ankle monitor and having to stay at his sister's house, this is going to have to force him to work things out with his sister if he wants to keep his freedom. Because if he wants to be hard-headed and walk away so easily, he can end up going right back to prison. And did anyone else notice how at the beginning of the episode when Harry was talking about how he started getting in trouble at the age of 5, he was setting stuff on fire, but he was talking about how his freedom got stripped away from him? It's like, dude, your freedom would get stripped away from you if you were doing something you weren't supposed to do, but you gave up your freedom and your rights when you chose to do stupid illegal stuff. And I just didn't get it. Like when he was talking about how he has robbery and kidnapping charges, he had a smile on his face like he thought he was cute or something. It's like, man, that is not cool. That is not something to be proud of. So let's hope that Harry doesn't go back to his old ways, but we shall see. I can't wait for that episode when Harry gets in the car and he thinks he's getting picked up by Indy and ends up being Indy's mom. I want to interview Indy's mom. She's next on my interview list because I have so many questions for her. But that's it for this video, guys. Also, I just got a question for you guys. What do you guys think about the whole Kevin storyline? Because I don't know how I feel about that storyline. The fact that Kayla is showing up and just popping in on him and not even questioning why the camera's around and just playing dumb. And you know she has to sign a waiver and a long NDA, so she knows what's going on. I kind of feel like we got like another Max and his roommate type situation. Their whole storyline just kind of seems sus to me. I'm kind of debating if I even want to cover their storyline because I don't know how genuine it is. But let me know what you guys think about Kevin's storyline. And also let me know your thoughts about Indy and Harry in the last episode in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.